Salutation to two. Greetings, everyone. How are you? This is Old School here, spokesman for TAIFA World Enterprise. And my mission as representative of TAIFA World is very simple. We want to educate, I guess it will even be indoctrinate, people who call themselves black to reclaim their rich heritage. Black reduces you to an undesirable, a criminal. Why? Why is that? Why is black such a bad thing? Because it takes you out of your heritage. Your ancestors were not born in a place called black. There's no country called black. There's a rich history that is hidden from you and ancestors who you don't know because you do not know who you are. It's not all your fault because these are things that it's a program that was pushed out on you, but it is your responsibility. That's the main thing TAIFA World wants to drive home to people. Your responsibility. You've been so deceived that somebody's supposed to take care of you. That's just slavery. Do you know if someone taking care of you, you're a slave? Do you know that all the people right now, half the world is at war, fighting to be free, to handle their own affairs? There's something about having flesh and blood that makes you not to want to be controlled by another people. But somehow, these so-called black people, whom I guess you can say I'm a member of the so-called race, but that's as far as it goes. Because my ancestry is very clear who I am, what country my ancestors came from. I talked about that once before, but it's not about me. This video is about you. You concerned about the children? There's a few years ago a big story about the children in Flint, Michigan, unleaded pipes. And who do they blame? They blame the government. The government's blamed for everything. Where do your responsibility come in as a community? Why don't you have your own community? Why did you sell out your own people to integrate with another people who didn't want you in their community and still don't? What is wrong with you? When is you going to learn the lesson that you got to do for yourself and nobody's supposed to do anything for you? Right now, you're looking at me as something wrong with me. Yeah, most of you are thinking like that. Oh, he's a Trump. I'm not a Trumper. Trump is he's nobody's savior. This whole thing is nothing but a game being played on the people. Good cop, bad cop. That's all it is. Trump is not going to save you. He's not going to save anybody. This is what do you call in the intelligence community? Counter intelligence. People, you've murdered your children for 50 years. You've killed how many Jesuses and Moses and prophets? You murdered them. So you deserve everything you're getting. This is karma. Ignorance is no excuse before the law. You did the transgressions, you're going to receive the pay. You never saw the need to have your own communities, to build your own houses. You wanted somebody else to build something for you. So yeah, they didn't do the best job. They didn't change the piping. So what? Don't you know how to change pipes? Don't you know how to build houses? This is because you decide to live on a plantation that your children is being killed. You kill them. Don't blame the government. So this is the final solution for you now, people. You have not contributed anything. It breaks my heart, but I gotta tell you this truth because that's the only thing gonna save you is the truth. You've been replaced. You've been replaced. You don't want to work for the low wages? Okay, we'll bring up people in who will. Then what you gonna do? The schools already ain't teaching you anything. Even if you graduate, you're still not qualified in any decent job. And there are no decent jobs anymore. Everything is taken away from you. Why? Because every intelligent people create their own jobs. You're looking to the man for everything. The Vietnamese community, when they come here, what do? They built their own communities. Why they don't have unemployment? Because they employ themselves. Every people who come here do that. Everybody comes with a sense of community, but you've been taught that you don't have to have your own community. You want to force yourself in communities that don't want you. And even now they're hanging you on trees, you're still saying, please, please, love me, love me. You're still a child. You're still a child. I don't care how old you are. If you're begging to integrate with somebody, you're still a child. So this is why TAIFA World is here, to try to remind you that you have to be responsible for your people, for your family. Let's start right there. You have children. They get sick. They take them to the hospital. They don't get the right treatment. Whose fault is that? The doctors? The hospital? No, it's your fault. Because you haven't saw the necessity of building your own hospitals. Why don't you see Asians in hospitals other than doctors and nurses? I'm going to tell you why. Because they know how to take care of themselves. It's part of their culture. We once, as a people, knew how to take care of ourselves, but now all that's been sold out to Jesse Jacksons, the Dr. Kings. So if I just get to one or two people, that'd be enough. And you can start making a change for generations to come, because nothing gonna change until you change. How long is it gonna take for you to see you got to take care of yourself, people? That's the way of the world. They're hiding it from you. They've taken it from you. You once had it strong. I know because I lived in that era. Crime was unheard of. I say it again. I grew up where crime was unheard of in our community. Then it started slowly because of what we was doing with our lives. We started integrating. That's when the crime started rising. Yes, because you really wasn't integrating. You was getting rid of your community, your culture, and trying to adopt someone else's. And they say, no, we don't want you. So what do you do when you can't get work? You resort to crime. But that's not the way to do it. You see, you like children, everybody knows the greatness of who you are, but you've been taught to hate yourself so much. I can't even tell who you are now. Y'all have taken your color away. Yeah. Just a few of us dark is left who love our dark skin. We become minority now. I remember growing up, the light skin was the minority, and we used to make fun of them. See, they was white. Now, because of the intermarriage, mostly men, there's something wrong with him. He don't love his women. Now your children has got lighter and lighter, and here it is. Dark skin is a minority. You hardly ever see it now. Yeah, I never thought this would exist in my lifetime. And not only are we looked on as a minority, we looked on as the somehow lesser by our own people because the programming they got. You know, even in my own family, my grandmother was a Choctaw, beautiful long, straight hair, but she was dark skinned. And she didn't want her children to grow up have dark skin, so she married a light-skinned Irish descent man. He was so-called black, but he was light-skinned because of the Irish mixture. And yeah, they want to bleach themselves out because they always thought you got treated better if you had light skin. So that's my family history, so I know it exists other places. And I'm thankful I came out dark skinned because my mother, even though she was very light, she hated her lightness. She wanted to bring back the real color of our people. So she married a dark skinned man. Yes, that's the guy I got here. And but she was very ridiculed for that. They really never forgave her for that. I don't think she really recovered from what they did to her mentally. So they, well, I talked about this before. I'm not going to get back into it. I digress. The main thing I want to say in closing is that love who you are. God didn't make mistakes, making you beautiful, no matter what your complexion. And it's not just a black thing. White folks, y'all begin to hate yourself too. You want to be dark skinned. No, 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 no. That's where the hatred comes from. When you're hating yourself, you're hating God. Love your beautiful self, no matter what you look like. That's how you honor God. And preserve that, not just love it, but preserve your color. Why would you want to mix your blood up with dark people? Who does that? I mean, yeah, you mix dogs, but you don't mix people. God is against that. And I show you all place in the Bible that intermingled people intermingle people, God detests. That's why you shouldn't do it. That's why some of the great friends of the so-called black people were the people who were staunch anti-integrationists. Yeah, I remember them. Bill Connor, Fables, all these people. It wasn't hatred. It was love. They wanted to keep themselves pure, and they knew what would happen if they didn't, that we would become a lost people. And they was really our friends. What's so great about being with white folks? You treat them like they're gods, something. They use you that much self-hatred? Y'all sick, I'm telling you. Maybe it's because I've traveled around the world and I've seen how other people live. I don't have that sickness. That could be the only reason. Well, that's it. I just had to share that going into 2024 and looking at how my people are acting. They're getting worse. I don't see them loving themselves. I don't see them trying to do anything for themselves. I see them still trying to hang on to the plantation life, being taken care of, and they think things gonna get better for them. You're gonna be what do you call self-genocide people real shortly. And you can't blame nobody but yourself.